The world watches and prepares for the impending crisis. Ding Zhang, monitoring the entire situation, apologized to Xin. I'm sorry, I was only able to convince 67% of the residents to evacuate, she said, but hesitated, her curiosity getting the better of her. Xin, there's one thing I don't understand. Why would some people rather destroy their phones and ignore my warnings, even up until their final moments? I couldn't complete my first task. I'm so ashamed. Xin, however, reassured her. It's not your fault. After all, mankind fears the unknown, especially when faced with powerful forces. Most of the people living here have modest means, but despite the overwhelming evidence, some simply refuse to believe in what they don't understand. Ding Zhang, still puzzled, asked, if one apartment building can be divided into several factions over a single piece of information, how many people around the world will believe that a week from now it will be their final day? So, Master, what you truly want is to spread the word, isn't it? Xin smiled and nodded. Exactly. We need to elevate the profile of the Humanist Defense Organization as quickly as possible. Once our voice is heard, people will naturally rise up and act on their survival instincts. The system chimed in agreement. That's right. Even if only tens of thousands survive, the seed of humanity will endure. You're still new here, Ding Zhang, and there are many concepts yet to be programmed into your system, Xin added. Meanwhile, the news of the MDM Supreme Apartments disaster spread like wildfire across the globe. A mysterious organization predicts disaster. A fire broke out late last night in Pharaoh City, claiming over 700 lives. However, all residents received a disaster warning in advance. Dozens of survivors have first-hand accounts of the event. What is this Humanist Defense Organization? Stay tuned for a detailed analysis. Shocking news, a natural disaster prophesied. All electronic devices were hijacked. But even more alarming than the tragic disaster was the invasive information control exhibited by this mysterious organization. Their ability to control any smart device raised serious concerns about privacy and security. In a car, listening to the news, Xiao Chu remarked to his colleague, "These guys always find a way to twist the narrative. They're more focused on Mr. Xin's powerful methods than on the incident itself. The saviors got it rough." A reporter interviewed Ralph, one of the survivors of the disaster, asking as an information engineer, "What do you think about this frightening ability to control smart homes?" Ralph, visibly shaken but grateful, responded, "First of all, I want to thank the Humanist Defense Organization for saving my life. But you know, most of today's smart appliances are made in China, and with such a large-scale hacking incident, we're likely under constant surveillance. But that's beside the point. The crucial thing is that they warned us about the disaster and saved our lives. More importantly, they can predict disasters. Can modern technology really do that?" In a burst of passion, Ralph grabbed the reporter's microphone and exclaimed on camera, "As an information engineer and scientist, I have to say, if you recognize my skills, please let me join. I don't want a salary elsewhere." Xin watched the interview with a smile, while the male robot beside him expressed surprise. "I can't believe someone is volunteering to join us so quickly." Master's strategy really worked, Xin thought, pleased. It's a good sign. With his joining the association, our chances of success grow stronger. At the same time, Ding Zhang, who was connected to the global internet, informed Xin. "The data we've just gathered shows that the scientist interview has become a worldwide trend." "Excellent," Xin replied, his smile broadening. "Create a talent profile for him. Collect all relevant data, analyze his personality and mental state, and prepare for when we truly need him." Xiao Chu and his colleague approached Mr. Xin with urgency. "A fire broke out last night, but it's made the association's name known all over the internet. However, most of the reports are still negative," Xiao Chu informed him. Xin glanced at them and calmly replied, "Negative or positive, it doesn't matter anymore. Because the end of this world has already begun." Both men were visibly shocked. Xiao Chu's colleague, dressed in a black suit, asked in disbelief, "But we thought we still had some time left." Xin shook his head. Don't worry. It's just the beginning. Probably only tens of millions will die. The man in the black suit, now angry, retorted. Tens of millions? Mr. Shin, only 10 million people died in the First World War. Don't treat this so lightly. Shin looked at him coldly. 10 million people will die in a single day. Their faces turned pale with shock as Shin continued. Do you think the end of the world means the destruction of humanity? As long as I'm here, your civilization won't be extinguished. How much survives depends on your efforts. With a wave of his hand, Shin projected images of volcanic craters from around the world. There are more than 2,000 extinct volcanoes and over 500 active ones. This time, nearly all of them will erupt. The earthquakes and tsunamis caused by these eruptions will consume everything. Xiao Chu, horrified, exclaimed. How could this be? Some of these volcanoes haven't shown signs of activity for tens of thousands of years. Shin answered calmly. We don't know why. Disaster predictions only show the results, not the process. What's worse is we only have 7 days to prepare. There's no time or energy to figure out the cause. The man in the black suit protested. That's nowhere near enough time. There are 3 major volcanic clusters in our country, with over 800 volcanoes and tens of millions of people living in densely populated areas. Even if we focus on evacuating the 10 million most vulnerable people, we won't have enough time. Desperate, Xiao asked. Can the organization do something? Shin replied bluntly. My mission is to protect humanity. If you want the association to invest more resources in your people, then prove your worth. Show me how powerful your civilization is. Xiao Chu, now resolute, nodded. Don't worry, Mr. Shin. We will accept the situation. I'll report to all the departments and coordinate our efforts immediately. We'll unite all our strength to resist this disaster. Some time later, across the city, people began receiving a text message warning them. Starting at 3 p.m. on XYZ's Mon, the global volcanic craters are about to erupt. Stay away from your city. Humanist Defense Organization. Many shrugged it off, thinking it was a prank. One man chuckled. This has to be a spoof message trying to ride the wave of the Humanist Defense Organization's popularity. Those volcanoes haven't erupted in tens of thousands of years. What's there to worry about? His friend, sitting next to him, agreed. Yeah, our city has the largest group of extinct volcanoes in the country. It's a famous tourist spot for crying out loud. Meanwhile, in a classroom, a teacher entered and called for the students' attention. Please be quiet, I have an urgent announcement. The class fell silent as she continued. There is a national emergency notice that concerns everyone's safety. I believe you've all received the warning message from the Humanist Defense Organization. The city has now activated its highest-level emergency plan and entered a state of emergency. You and tens of millions of others must evacuate to a safe area within the next 4 days. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Pages with Sidra for more exciting content and updates. Stay tuned for the next chapter. You won't want to miss it. See you next time.